Famcast Media, bitch.
Seriously, what the hell is going on in Washington? Good evening, demons and demonesses. Kwame Wahkan here, and then right now I'm just getting back from, another week-long ban. Unfortunately, I had gotten post-blocked again, so I'm not sure what the hell happened. I wasn't able to post for a while. Guessing the auto-flagging system is starting to, attack again. Still in the process of, trying to set up DTube and whatnot, but either way, I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Now, I was going through the news reports today, and one of the things that popped up in my feed was apparently Jon Schaffer from Iced Earth was one of the thousands of people that stormed the Capitol in DC. Now, Iced Earth is a band that I've been listening to since high school, and based on what I've seen, now apparently Iced Earth's guitarist, Jon Schaffer, ended up on the FBI's most wanted list for his participation in the, the Trump rally. Now, this was really surprising to me. Like, I didn't really think that, I knew there's a lot of celebrities that support Donald Trump. And, but I didn't know Jon Schaffer was one of them. But, this is just kind of surprising to me. I got the article right here, so let's all read through this together. Earlier this week, Iced Earth's Jon Schaffer was identified among the pro-Trump supporters that breached the U.S. Capitol building. Now it looks like the metal guitarist is officially wanted by the FBI following the events that transpired on Wednesday. On January 6th, the U.S. Capitol was taken over by pro-Trump supporters who were denouncing the results of the presidential election. While the Senate was certifying the Electoral College vote, which favored President-elect Joe Biden, the supporters forced entry into the U.S. Capitol building. As a result, members of the Senate and other essential personnel were evacuated and taken to secure locations. In the end, 4 individuals died during the protest. All right, now it's been updated, I think, to 5 now. 4 of the Trump supporters and 1 police officer. In the end, 4 individuals died during the protest, including 1 woman who was shot during a confrontation between protesters and law enforcement. Since the Wednesday events transpired, a lot has happened. To start, Donald Trump's Twitter account was suspended after he shared various tweets that violate the platform's civic integrity policy. As well, Dead Kennedys faced backlash within the punk community after praising Mitt Romney on Twitter. Shortly after the band confessed they had nothing to do with the tweet that was shared. Over the past few days, hundreds of photos and videos from the Capitol events have been shared online. As a result, a lot of the pro-Trump supporters involved have been identified, including Iced Earth's Jon Schaffer. The metal guitarist was one of the individuals who broke into the U.S. Capitol building this week. As images from the events were released, metal music fans quickly identified Schaffer in the mob of Trump supporters. Now it looks like Schaffer is officially wanted by the FBI for his involvement in the breach of the Capitol. The Federal Bureau of Investigations has updated its most wanted section with photos of the individuals involved in this week's event. Along with various faces many of us have seen on social media this week, is Schaffer. The FBI is asking members of the public to help identify the individuals involved. Anyone with information regarding the individuals in question, or anyone who has witnessed unlawful violent actions at the Capitol, are asked to call the FBI. Iced Earth's Stu Block seemingly addressed this week's event in an Instagram post. Soon after, however, Block allegedly began receiving comments from people who no longer support Iced Earth because of Schaffer's actions. The flood of responses led to Block deactivating the comment section on the post. Jon Schaffer isn't the only musician that was involved in the U.S. Capitol events. Ariel Pink is among the individuals identified at the protest on Wednesday. Director Alex Lee Moyer shared a photo, tagged in Washington, D.C., and video commenting that Ariel Pink and singer John Mows were at the protest at the U.S. Capitol. One individual called Ariel Pink out on Twitter, which led to Pink confirming that he did attend the protest, but does not condone the violence that transpired. It's true, I don't and never have advocated for violent confrontation or rioting. Must be my boomer upbringing. I was in DC to peacefully show my support for the president. I attended the rally on the White House lawn and went back to the hotel and took a nap. Case closed. What are your reactions to Jon Schaffer being wanted by the FBI? Let us know in the comments below. We also have video of Jon Schaffer. Somehow I'm guessing this was either a reporter or a grassroots journalist or probably even a Trump supporter. I'm not exactly sure where this interview came from. This was sent to me by someone on Twitter. Now I'm going to play for you guys the interview and what Jon Schaffer has to say about this.
My name's Jon Schaffer. I'm from Indiana. A group of thugs and criminals hijacked this country a long time ago. Now they're making their big move, and it's not going to happen. And that's what it is. These are globalists. These are the scum of the earth. These are the criminals that are behind all the fraudulent fiat currency. They're behind all the wars. They're behind all the shit. They're behind divide and conquer tactics, behind the racial divide. It's all nonsense. It's all garbage. People need to wake up and snap out of the matrix because they're going down. They've made the move. They're messing with the wrong people here. Trust me on that. And we needed it to be open like this. Open fraud, open theft. Because now we see you, and you're going down. Mark my words.
Are you expecting some sort of violence? Like, are you expecting to clash with some other groups?
If somebody wants to bring violence, I think there's a lot of us here that are ready for it. We don't want that. But if they bring it, we're gonna respond to that, trust me.
Okay, so you're prepared for that?
Absolutely. I think this goes beyond President Trump. You know, President Trump is a populist. He's not your typical Republican. He's not establishment. He's not going out starting wars all over the place like they do. Which is funny. Where are all the Democrats that were anti-war? You know, there's so much hatred for Trump. It's just ridiculous. I mean, he's dealing with a criminal mafia that has been in the shadows running the world, frankly, for a very long time. They want to destroy all of our sovereignty and bring about global government. We're not having it. We can still do business together. The countries can still be at peace. But we're not going to merge into some globalist communist system. It will not happen. There will be a lot of blood shed if it comes down to that. Trust me, the American people will not go for that bullshit once they understand what's actually happening. So that's where we're at. I mean, nobody wants this, but they're pushing us to a point where we have no choice.
Now, my opinion on this whole thing is, well, it doesn't really affect me or my opinions on the band. I mean, like I said, I don't support President Trump. I'm not really a Trump supporter. I mean, if you guys have seen, now if you guys ever, like watch enough of my episodes or see any of the things that I post on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that, I think it's clearly obvious that I'm like the furthest thing to a Trump supporter. In fact, I'm probably the biggest enemy of a Trump supporter. You know, I got the red rose on my profile. You know, I post a lot about trans rights and stuff like that. You know, I'm a Satanist, and, most Trump supporters are either extremely religious, extremely conservative, extremely Christian, that type of stuff. So, like I said, either way, putting politics aside, I mean, I really, really, really do hope that Jon Schaffer wasn't, violently attacking people. I really hope that he wasn't, destroying property and breaking windows and stuff like that. Because, and that's the thing about this whole Donald Trump rally type thing. When it comes to, Black Lives Matter and things like that, and, I'm the type of guy that likes to hold people accountable for their actions and hold people to the same standard of rules. Now, what a lot of people on the right tend to do is they say, oh, well, Black Lives Matter is bad because of the rioting and the looting and whatnot. But my thing is this, all right? If rioting and looting is so fucking bad, why the fuck are you, destroying windows and, vandalizing property? My thing is this, if you're going to get mad at Black Lives Matter for doing it, and then you're going to do it yourself, you kind of look like a hypocrite, now don't you? I'm not going to say that I didn't enjoy, watching this whole situation unfold. Some people were scared, some people on my timeline were, crying and saying, oh my gosh, this is terrible, but, just imagine if this happened for, an actual real issue. Just imagine if this many people organized about things that matter. Like, for example, Edward Snowden. Just imagine if you had millions of Americans storm D.C. to support Edward Snowden. Just imagine you had millions of Americans storm D.C. to end the wars. Just imagine if you had millions of Americans demanding stimulus checks. To be honest, when it comes to DC, I have no love for any of those politicians up in DC. I think they're all fucking corrupt. They all take corporate money. And, you know, it was so satisfying watching that guy walk out with Nancy Pelosi's podium, or seeing that other guy, you know, put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Now, like I said, I have no love for Nancy Pelosi. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like the Trump supporters either, because, you know, but at the same time, I'm like stuck in a catch-22. So I'm like, all right, do I condemn the Trump supporters for, you know, but, you know, doing so, I would, you know, unintentionally be defending Nancy Pelosi, who I equally despise. Now, I see a lot of people, you know, trying to portray Jon Schaffer as some sort of, you know, racist or, you know, radical. Now, I don't really believe that Jon Schaffer is part of that wing. Now, do I believe that all Trump supporters are racist? No. I mean, some of them are, but not all of them. Now, after it was discovered that Jon Schaffer had done all this, members of the band, you know, quickly came out to condemn his actions. You know, and that's one of the things that, you know, was, I guess you could say, kind of foolish on Schaffer's part. It puts his entire band in jeopardy. All the other bandmates weren't there. You know, they had no say in the matter. So basically, being that he showed up here and that he was seen, you know, photographed inside of the Capitol, now the entire band is being painted as a fascist band or some shit like that. And you see lots of people that are angry and upset and writing comments. And the fact that, you know, they had to, you know, block the comments so that no one else could comment. The band is in some, you know, hot water right now. Now, like I said, they did well by condemning his actions. And I can only hope that the band eventually recovers. But, you know, with the whole thing with cancel culture and whatnot, it could be a 50-50 chance. You know, I'm not part of this whole SJW thing where, oh, we got to cancel the band. No, Jon Schaffer is one man with an opinion, all right? His actions do not reflect the entire band. If it did, then the whole band would have been there. But it wasn't. It was just Jon Schaffer. So hold the man accountable for his own actions. If he did violent things and, you know, if he was, you know, assaulting cops and whatnot and destroying property, then he should, you know, turn himself in to the police and, you know, take accountability for his own actions. This is just one man who did something foolish that put the entire band in jeopardy. So hold him accountable for his actions and leave the rest of the band out of it. And if his actions really make you feel some type of way about the band, then maybe you truly weren't a fan to begin with. And also another thing that I want to add, you know, I noticed that Jon Schaffer wasn't wearing a mask either. And this kind of goes to show you how, you know, it kind of backfires in their face. You know, they refused to wear masks during the pandemic, and now they refuse to wear masks when storming the Capitol, which kind of makes it easier for, you know, police and federal agents to identify them. So either way, these guys ended up playing themselves. So, you know, like, I'm not going to, you know, go completely mad on Jon Schaffer for this. He's wanted, he's going to have his day in court, and, you know, the courts are going to have to decide what they want to do with Jon Schaffer. Well, and another reason why I'm not going to, you know, condemn Schaffer for this is because, you know, back in 2016, the Democratic National Convention was being held in Philadelphia. Now, unlike the DC rally, you know, the rally that was going on in Philadelphia, there was a heavy police presence. You know, as you can tell the difference between, you know, the DC rally and pretty much any other rally that has happened all throughout this country. The DC rally actually had less police presence. So, you know, you easily had, you know, some Trump supporters, you know, tearing down barricades, was able to, you know, easily go around the police. And in some cases, they were... Now, back to the Philly situation, there were a lot of protesters out there. In fact, I was out there protesting. And this was mostly because, you know, we felt that, you know, Bernie Sanders was, you know, treated badly by the DNC.
Well, I'm part of a group in New Jersey called Metalheads for Bernie. We're 700 strong. We've been phone banking and canvassing for Bernie Sanders for a very long time, and we're basically in it till the end. If it's going to be Bernie or it's going to be Jill Stein, we all kind of went our separate ways. Some of us went to Gary Johnson. Some of us went to, you know, Jill Stein. Some even went to Trump, surprisingly.
During that whole DNC convention thing, we actually did have protesters that were able to tear down barriers. They broke past the police line. And some of those protesters were eventually arrested by FBI and Secret Service. Now, fortunately, you know, I was like yards away at the time. I heard about, you know, them tearing down the gates. And, you know, the main difference is that, you know, Bernie supporters didn't actually go there to start violence. They just went out there to get their voices heard and make sure and, support Senator Sanders. Now, we didn't set up any pipe bombs. We didn't assault any police officers. And during the entire week-long protest, nobody died, nobody got hurt, nobody was robbed or anything like that. But either way, I'm not really too satisfied about Joe Biden winning the election because, me personally, I don't really think anything is going to systematically change. However, doing all this, I really don't think this is going to change much of anything either. Violently trying to overthrow. This is going to have a lot of, devastating consequences. As you can see, Donald Trump got banned on, basically the entire internet. So all of the platforms they pulled the same card that they did with Alex Jones and just decided what's going to happen now is that because of the actions of a lot of these, Trump supporters, now big tech is going to do a lot more censorship, which is going to make things a lot harder for, independent people that are, smaller YouTubers, smaller bloggers, smaller reporters, and things like that. That's basically one of the repercussions of this. So basically they did all of this, staging a coup or a riot or whatever the fuck this was. And in the end, it just goes back to hurt them, and unfortunately, it's going to hurt everyone else in the process. So that's basically all I have to say to Jon Schaffer. I'm just really, shocked that you would do something like this. But either way, it doesn't really change my opinions on the band. I still will listen to Iced Earth. I still think they're a good band. And it's still a band that I would recommend. Still in all, it's just really surprising that I would see, Schaffer caught up in all this mess. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I have a lot of stuff I have to get back to, and hopefully, I just really hope that 2021 doesn't end up more fucked up or just as fucked up as 2020. It's a new year, so let's hope things play out well. But that's all I have to say. You guys stay safe, stay metal, hail Satan, and I'll catch you on the flip side.